Look, I got a confession to make. I love cereal, but to be honest, it's not a performance-enhancing food. Until now. Magic Spoon is a new breakfast cereal with zero sugar, 14 grams of protein, only 4 net grams of carbs, and 140 calories in each serving. Best of all, Magic Spoon tastes amazing. There's 8 delicious flavors: cocoa, fruity, frosted, peanut butter, cinnamon, blueberry, maple, waffle, and cookies and cream. My favorite is frosted, but limited edition flavors come out all the time. Magic Spoon is keto friendly, gluten free, grain free, soy free, low carb, and GMO free. Magic Spoon is so confident in their product, it is backed with a 100% happiness guarantee. What does that mean? It means if you don't like it for any reason, they will refund your money and they won't ask you any questions. Go to magicspoon.com/Chael or click the link to grab a variety pack. Be sure to use the promo code Chael at checkout. That's going to get you $5 off your order. Joe Rogan did a piece talking about how Nick Diaz changed the sport. Joe maintained that Nick, with his cardio, completely changed the philosophy, which was at the time seek and destroy. Hit this guy as hard as I can, get him the hell out of there as quickly as I can. Nick changed it to, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to pepper you. I'm going to touch you nonstop. I'm going to get on top of you. I'm going to talk to you. I'm going to let you see that I'm not tired. I'm going to do twice as much work as you. Joe went on to say that the Diaz brothers, both of them, Nick and Nate, participate in triathlons. It's why they are so durable. They are cardio machines. Boom, stop. Joe just said what all of the rest of you believe. Is it true? Is one single word of that true? And that is a little bit of a deeper conversation, because I have never seen one of the Diaz boys get tired and quit. Why do you not want to get tired in a fight? Obvious question, obvious answer, I'm aware, but we do have to start with that. Why do you not want to get tired? Because if you get tired, you'll quit. Fatigue will make a coward out of any man. So you don't want to get to the point of exhaustion where you can no longer go on. Follow the golden rule, which is protect yourself at all times. That is the biggest fear of a combat athlete. Combat athlete, wrestling, jiu-jitsu, MMA, boxing. His biggest fear is not losing. His biggest fear is reaching exhaustion and not being able to finish the match. I have never seen one of the Diaz boys close to that. Maybe they hide it. Maybe they're in great shape. I have never seen them get tired and quit. And when you talk about somebody's heart, how tough are they? Heart, right? The word that every fighter wants to have, and that some will be judged in front of the world and rule he doesn't have heart. All you're really talking about is conditioning. Can the guy go on? Can the guy push through? Is he in better shape? Shape doesn't sound nearly as exciting as a dialogue as when you use the word heart. With that said, I'm still asking you, is it true? Because why they have checked the most important box, which is they don't quit. They don't get tired and quit. They have what it takes to finish the night. That's the most important box. But you go from there to, can you weaponize pace? And that is what Joe is attempting to maintain, is that Nick Diaz weaponized pace. And I would ask Joe when. I know that's the belief. I know all of you say it. I know everybody talks about it. I'm asking you when. You have 20 years. You have 30 fights. You have 129 rounds. I'm asking you to tell me one example when he weaponized pace. And I don't think you can find it. And that is a meaningful difference. And it is one of the problems that the triathlon brings with it. Yes, you can hold up 25 minutes later. You can still be there. Have you weaponized pace? Can you go on a sprint? Can you make the other guy quit? Can you get the other guy's heart rate beating so hard that he can no longer think and he needs to get out? And that is the way that the story is told on the Diaz boys. I'm just asking you to give me an example of when. One time. And I'll settle for a round. You don't even have to give me a fight. You tell me one round. Round 3 again. I'll listen. I haven't seen it. I'm open to the idea. I haven't seen it. I do always hear about the threats of the cardio, and I admit it's amazing that they never quit. But if you can't weaponize pace like, say, George St. Pierre or Khabib Nurmagomedov, 2 perfect examples. You'd have to go back all the way to Randy Couture. Randy Couture was the first athlete within MMA to just come at you so hard you simply couldn't hold up. Skills were out the door. Randy had no belt in anything. And all of a sudden, he's got a gold belt, says he's the best in the world. He did not have a purple belt in jiu-jitsu. He did not have a brown belt in jiu-jitsu. He didn't have a white belt in taekwondo or a green belt in karate. He had no belts, and all of a sudden, he's got a gold belt, says, I can beat all the rest of you. Why? Well, he weaponized pace. He got you so tired, you could not continue the match. He was the first to do that in MMA. He was not the first to do that in sport. The first to do that in sport was 1972, a man named Dan Gable. Dan Gable is the first to let everybody know, if I get my opponent to a point of exhaustion, skills no longer matter. I can do whatever I want with him. All right, seems like a very basic concept right now, right? Well, I'm sure it is. It wasn't until Dan Gable, Munich, Germany, Olympic Games, 1972. All right. Where does that story come from? Because I have heard it many times. You don't want to go a long night with the Diaz boys. They'll be there. They will be there. I am for sure complimentary to the Diaz boys. I don't know that the sport was redone. I don't know that Nick has ever one time broken a guy with pressure. And I do blame that. I do blame that on the triathlons. Those are meant for a duration. You are much better if you're training for MMA to do what's called interval training, where you are going super hard. You are on a sprint. Your heart rate is at its absolute max. It's popping out of your chest. You have to quit. You rest for 20 seconds and boom, you go back to that sprint. You rest a little bit, you go back to that sprint. That's how you break a guy. Very seldomly, and I know there is examples you could show me, but very seldomly can you break a guy with one pace. You have to let off because you're a human being. Then you got to come back at him again. Then you got to let off just a little bit. Then you got to come back at him again. It's up and down and up and down and up and down. And the guys who have weaponized pace, and there's only two of recent memory, George St. Pierre and Khabib Nurmagomedov. Now, every other fighter to have ever done this, in conjunction with their trainer, will prepare every day to be able to do that. They just don't get to that level. Competition's doing the same thing. It all evens out. You've got to have two things to weaponize pace. Great DNA and an unrelenting drive towards your training. But you must have both. Every fighter has the unrelenting drive. If they weren't blessed with the DNA from Jump Street, you don't get to that point. So I most definitely would disagree with Joe that Nick changed the sport. Randy Couture was already here. Randy Couture was the first to have ever done it in MMA. And Nick's pace, as good as it is, it's great. There's no insult to Nick. It's a great pace. It's not what George St. Pierre's is. George was here the whole time Nick was here. So there's no scenario where Nick is the one that changed the sport. That is false. But I would push back a little bit harder, and I'm very open to being wrong, by the way. I'm very open to you providing me with that fight, providing me with that match, providing me with the round where Nick went so hard the opponent couldn't hold up and quit. I'm very open to it. But unless you provide that is a wildly inaccurate statement. And that narrative has been going around for I don't know how long. I don't know how long. And it goes to both Nick and Nate. Historically speaking, if you were to go back and look at the fifth round of every Diaz fight, you are not going to find an overwhelming victory from the judges. You're not. You were to go back to the fourth round of every Diaz fight, you're going to bring in both brothers. You're not going to find an overwhelming victory by the judges. I don't know what that would be. I will submit for you. I don't even think that it's positive. I don't know what the ratio, I don't think it's even in the positive category. The talk of that conditioning being because of a diet or being because of a nutrition or some kind of special drive, man, it's not true. It's never been true. There is not a weaponization of pace there. There is two tough sons of bitches who work plenty hard, who in conjunction with mental toughness have never quit. That is honorable. That is as honorable as it gets. Those are not the two guys that you don't want to be in the fourth and fifth round with because you simply can't hold up. And the numbers prove it. The numbers absolutely prove it. But the narrative continues. The dialogue continues. The belief continues. Why? What is so impressive about a triathlon, in all fairness? What's so impressive? You ever been to one? Have you ever been to one? I happened to be one over the weekend. I was supporting my teammate Bob, who came in third in the world and did a fantastic job. God bless him. Total stud. He's 80 years old. That's why I followed him and that's why I supported him so much. I thought it was such a cool goal. Either way, an 80-year-old man did it. I'm just asking you, what is so goddamn impressive about a bit of biking? You got to take biking off the board, in all fairness. And the swimming, you kind of got to take it off the board. Whatever the numbers call for in an Ironman, triathlon, anywhere, whatever they call for, take those two off the board. Just go do the run in the amount of time. You're good with me. Of the triathlon, the run is the only one that matters. If you can just do the run, you're good with me. But you'll be good in every other sport as well. You'll be able to hold up. You really don't need to go pedal around, and you really don't need to go swim in a little suit, the cap on your head. I mean, in all fairness, the triathlon guys, enough. Stop.